Hello everybody and welcome to Game 3 of our first semi-finals today. Von Asten is going to be playing as the Soviet Union from the south side of Crossroads. What a great game he's had already, Game 1. But hey, tell us about Game 2.
Well, Game 2 was Lovenest's resurgent as Wehrmacht, and he won with a lot more victory points than his opponent won with in G1, giving him choice in this Game 3. He is a man that started this year rusty, and he wants to get back to tournament form because he has a championship to defend. He just overshot with his Pioneers, went round the bush, then had to go back to build Tier 1, the infantry company, which shows that he is human, and as that's a mistake that I regularly make whenever I try to play Wehrmacht, I'm pretty happy he made that mistake, so nice.
I was thinking we talk about the position of Tier 1. This is really unfortunate, actually, because it looks like it's blocking a couple of units coming out there. But the Tier 1, the positioning, it's able to reinforce then kind of close to his base without going back to base, which is something you see that top players do. Like the positioning, but slightly off. And like you say, just maybe suggests that Lovenest isn't quite back there yet. But he's got a lot of time. He's got a lot of time if he doesn't close it today.
Yeah, he has. He's calculated that he'll get fully match sharp in time to qualify and in time for GCS2 itself, and it's a pretty big prediction of his. He's risking a lot. He's allowed Devem to pretty much cement himself as the man to beat. No longer Lovenest. Lovenest only in name due to winning GCS1, and that's risky. But it's very risky.
Crossroads. Do you know what? We've cast so many games on this map. I love watching the start of this map. You know, a lot of players go deep into the right when they're playing from the north. Lovenest isn't playing with that aggression right now. He was aggressive in the first and second game. Now he's playing defensively. It kind of makes me think, is he a little worried about Von Asten's aggressiveness?
I think he's. I think every player probably wants to qualify. I don't think there's even a slight feeling in this second qualification tournament of, you know what, if I lose, I'll still get more practice. I don't think that's there anymore because you do not want to be going into tournament 3 and your status to be up in the air. So, yeah, Lovenest is going to play defensively. Lovenest isn't going to be quite as rambunctious and quite as aggressive in those early opening segments of the game. He's going to want to consolidate his territories, build steady, and outclass his opponent. Let's see if he is successful.
I think this is when both players kind of take what we refer to as their territories, you know, like closest to the base, and it looks a bit stable, nothing edgy happening. It's easier to calculate when units are going to arrive on the field. So it's almost not necessarily a battle of timing advantages, but now it's kind of like build order battle. You probably know, like, okay, T-70 is going to come out this time. Maybe do I throw in a curveball, something like that. There's loads of options, I think, when both players have stable resources. It makes it really interesting.
I agree. That Grenadier could have actually been headshotted there. He's sticking this one out, Lovenest. He's trying to basically get his MG out into the centre, and he's playing for time. So if you notice, the MG has now repositioned. That MG can now protect the cutoff. If he hadn't have kept his Grenadier there and lost a bit of manpower, he wouldn't have been able to protect his cutoff. It's a great play by Stefan.
Yeah, I think he's playing really well. He pops the flamers on the Pioneers there. Looks like he's going to aim for the conscripts first, but then he'll be able to take that back to the center and clear conscripts out of the central garrison. But,
flame on flame.
Yeah.
Like the
fire with fire.
Like the Kotu.org forums here. And the Pioneers have won it. Combat Engineers, the difficult retreat path. Burst did not kick in time, though. But you know what is kicking in on time? It's the Wehrmacht hype train, as Lovenest is going to start eating into Von Asten's territories.
He's just playing a safe, solid game. There is a benefit to this. Do you remember casting yesterday and we were like, gosh, isn't Austere just bringing out healing really, really late at the moment? And I think maybe, Lovenest is clearly going to rush tier 2 here, but it might be just by playing safe and maybe banking as much manpower as he can and decent resources that he'll be able to get enough resources in for healing and the flame half-track as well, which is really, really crucial because we've seen too many Austere players fighting with half-health squads.
completely. Tier 2 is the build for Von Asten. He's not too worried right now. He's going to... But it is a little bit of a change. If he's not going to get... No, he's going to get Tier 3 straight away. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Still the same build from Von Asten. He's not going to change up his approach. He's now got the combat engineers idle in base as he waits for the prerequisite manpower to build Tier 3. He should have around about now. There we go. Used it. A little bit delayed. But that just shows me that Von Asten isn't changing up his game. He doesn't think that Loveness strategically beat him in the previous game. He thinks he was outplayed on a micro level or a tactical level. So we'll have to wait and see if his confidence is indicating to him that he doesn't need to change up his game plan.
I think Von Asten hit the retreat button a little bit too quickly there in the conscript squad. There wasn't a flame pop yet. And I think he's probably worried that if he does get popped so deep in enemy territory, he might lose the squad on retreat. So maybe that's a sensible thing.
Yeah, I thought you changed your point halfway through there. I was going to come in and say, but it's all about the retreat path, because if you're there when the first burst goes off, you have to hit retreat, right? And then it can chase you down, and there's nothing to stop it right now. There's no 18-8s, there's no Zis guns, there's no nothing. So it would be a squad wipe by the time it gets to base. So,
adjusted.
Evolved there. Adjusted, thank you. Yeah, well adjusted. Almost the pressure of you knowing that I was listening. But four conscripts coming out in it. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, feel free to cast on the conscripts, but healing is ready for Loveness. I think he's timed this very well. Much better than I've seen a lot of other austere players do. And he managed to get the flamethrower on the Pioneer. So I think he's timing his resources incredibly well right now.
He's also playing with Phantom 18-8s Von Asten. So right now, because he went 18-8s early in game 2, he's making Loveness think he's got them in game 3. Now we all know that 18 nades cost a surprising 25 fuel compared to Molly's, which only cost 10. So that's 25 fuel that he's not having to wait to get the T70 out. So it's an improved timing on the T70. There's Nuro. It's a Phantom 18-8. He's got the benefits of the AT grenade upgrade without having to spend the fuel.
Yeah, it's a good bluff. And Loveness, may now play all of his units accordingly to that. This is going to be a dangerous... By the way, you see the Grenadiers here? They're going to have a bad retreat path if they move any more to the right, and they... Oh, that's going to be terrible.
That's a dead Gren.
That's a dead Grenadier squad. That's great mine placement.
Especially now the T-70's out on that retreat path. He's going to get a nice juicy shot in now. There you go, one model down. And
here we go.
What the Grenadier's doing. Here we go. One mine. Ha ha ha. The second one won't jump in, but there's a T-70's hot in pursuit. Very, very dead.
Yeah. Mines win games.
Yes. Shall we congratulate ourselves, the casters, or we just know? We just know. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. T-70 is smashing this Pioneer now. It's on the warpath. It's got an improved timing and entrance onto the game. Loveness wasn't ready for it. He's now having to get the Pack 40 out, 320 manpower. He doesn't want to be spending, which delays his economy and his progression through the mobile defense structure, which means Von Asten, strategically speaking, is well and truly in this game.
Yeah, he knows that there's a window of time that he's going to be able to get great effect from this, and he needs to use it to get territory back and get the resources pumping up so he can, get into his next tier. It's interesting. I think actually Von Asten, whereas he looked weak at the start, he clearly has like a game plan in his head, and he's played conservatively. I think that's actually one thing we maybe haven't looked at, is that he's played his resources very reservedly. Spent it on mines defensively, making sure he has manpower to tech and things like that.
Yeah, defensive play is winning out in the overall meta at the moment, and seemingly in Company Heroes 2. I mean, aggressive plays still work. I mean, look at Devem's Wehrmacht, for example, but a lot of defensive plays are doing very well at the moment, notably Talisman last time. Didn't work so well for him this time, but he's proven that it is a very effective style of play. Where do you see the game going from here, Dan? What's the next step for either of these players? What do you reckon the next evolution in the meta could be?
Well, I think we're clearly going to see Puma, aren't we? It's going to be the staple of what Loveness wants to do against the T-70. Interestingly, I just think Love Nest hasn't replaced the Grenadier, right? So there isn't much capping potential on the field right now, and I think actually that loss may hurt him as the game goes on.
Could do. It is a 240 manpower investment. He hasn't rebuilt though because he didn't want to slow down his build order, and he's obviously spent the manpower on the bunker also. So yeah, he doesn't want to delay any further. No, he is getting it now. But yeah, he's got the pack 40, but you know what I mean. He didn't want to delay any further at the time. 18 conscript models here, acting as a super organism, almost like ants or termites or wasps or anything like it. They're moving in a tactical battle formation, otherwise known as a blob.
I'm just worried there's nothing on the left to stop these conscripts. The T-70 is going to be able to go up. There are no minesweepers. This is actually a big problem for Von Asten, I think. You can see that there are telemines laid by Love Nest. A double AT grenades from the conscripts. Half track goes down. Huge problems for Love Nest.
That was a double whammy. Wasn't expecting that. I don't know what they've done to their AT nades. Have they laced them with more explosives or something? That was really good.
That was.
But that's the advantage to blobbing. I mean, Company Heroes is all about blobbing. You don't want to split your units up. Have them together because they have more pop.
I don't know if. Ooh. Do you think Love Nest will go into Puma now? I mean, he's got the AT gun. Maybe he just plays defensively with that for a while. But then it's like, what's his later tech going to be? I think he's now going to have to start questioning whether or not he sticks religiously to this build.
I think Love Nest will be all right. T51 had its day. The T70's out now. It wasn't going to be as good anymore. So I wouldn't worry too much about that most recent loss if you're a Love Nest fan. Shouldn't be the end of the world. He does have 2 MGs out. What's this MG doing on the east though? It's just standing there. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think he moved that. Maybe just hadn't set it up. Maybe showing a little bit of weakness. Oh, he is going to dive into Puma. This one's interesting. Von Asten's getting ready to flank. He's going for the standard territory decap in the north outside Love Nest base. Meanwhile, conscripts, hoorah, charge into green cover. You've also got the dead half track. The guards are going to take shelter behind. And they've managed to get a good flank on the MG, which is horrendously out of position for this engagement. Huge problems for Love Nest all over.
Yeah, there are huge problems all over, but I don't think the game itself is all over quite yet. Love Nest is currently trying to get out of this position. He's just retreated the Pioneer. I thought that was going to flank. It's a strange one. So an LMG on 2 LMGs on the Grenadiers, though that could help him break out.
MG flank here. Love Nest finally making use of that MG42 on the other side. Puma gone a little bit too close there to the conscripts. Took an AT grenade. We might see another one.
We might indeed.
I think we will.
Wow. Von Asten's currently countering.
Von Asten can't finish it with AT grenades. He hasn't got the resources, but light arms fire. Love Nest has to be hot on his micro with the MG. I think Von Asten could have held that.
Yeah, well, I think it was just what it was, you know. It just didn't have enough Mosin Nagant rifles facing the right way because of the suppression of the MG. So it wasn't lucky for Love Nest to retreat. It just, is what it was. But I think Love Nest is showing decisive rust in this game. There's been one or two things that I've noticed and not wanted to point out, but I just started to do that. Originally, I put them down to input delay, but they've just definitely been signs of rust, and we're not used to seeing that from him. So it is, if you are a fan of the German Giants, the GCS1 champion, it is a little tiny bit worrying.
I wonder if we're going to see Tier 4 go up soon for Von Asten. He's got guard rifle. Probably could do with a KV-1. I mean, that would be a great complement to what he's got in the field at the moment.
Nice flank by this guard squad. MG knows it, has to get out of there. And this guard squad, for the first time, will now be able to neutralize this cutoff. And Love Nest has been able to defend this cutoff for the entirety of this 14.5-minute game. But now he's going to lose the cutoff for the first time, which could prove a significant turning point in how this game is going.
Great use of the Maxim as well, locking down. Look at the cone on that. The entire left side is able to be suppressed. The T-70, I think, recon mode was just turned off there, so I think he's actually going on the hunt. He'll be going for those grenadiers, I think, on the left-hand side of the map. keeping hold of this point right now for Von Asten is crucial. This is a great resource denial.
Loveness going for a 15-minute sniper, which is a good comeback tool in the right hands. It'll allow him... He's not lost many units, remember, only 1 Grenadier and 1 251 half-track. So the sniper, in theory, should allow him to shoot his way out of this showdown. He's got his backs up against the wall. He's going to get the gunslinger out to fire some salvos.
I think what's really interesting... Oh, sniper's a little bit out of position. I think the base MG... No, actually, it's not going to be able to hit them there, I think, because of the hedgerow.
So the gunslinger there did the wise thing of running away. Oh, now Grenadier, T-70. Difficult situation. Maxim's also in that cone of fire, as are the guards with their great accuracy. Negative cover. 1 down, 1 remaining. How did that Grenadier survive? Had to dodge the rifle nade. Puma's going to pick on the T-70 now. Loveness battling back, folks.
Yep, don't think we can expect anything less. VPs don't tell a story of one player, winning heavily here. It's only now, really, that Von Asten is starting to pull that back. But Loveness pulled himself loads of time early on in the game, with some of the capping that he did. So it's not the worst of situations. He's only got, what, maybe like a couple of minutes of gameplay to just deal with this constantly, and then he can get back on.
Not even a bad situation. He's got a Puma out, he's got a pack, he's got 2 MGs, a sniper, 3 Grenadiers with LMGs, both with veterancy too. You look at your unit portraits and the pop cap, Loveness is actually winning right now. No, he's not, because Von Asten has manpower in the bank, but it's quite equal right now, I meant to say. So yeah, people in chat that have maybe called this game over, L2W, learn to watch.
I'm actually just looking at the points held during this game. They're just kind of flipping at the moment. We're going to see Loveness maybe get back to that situation he was in 5 minutes in, where he had a lot of map control, and it just kind of brings out the phases of the game. You know how Company of Heroes, each unit has its own window of efficiency, and T-70 has been mitigated now by the Puma. Tier 4 is coming up for Von Asten, so we could see this change again. We're going to be eyes on Loveness for what his teching is going to be after the first unit from Tier 4 comes out.
So Von Asten has not been able to upgrade PPSHs quite yet, because they all have been increased in cost to 60 munitions a piece. But that is a step in the evolution of this game that will be quite interesting as soon as he gets the munitions he needs, and he's not been planting quite as many mines and throwing quite as many AT nades, etc. Oh my god! That's quite a quick KV1, That's, I know 18 minutes is quite long into the game, but for a KV1, 145 fuel, Tier 4, that's pretty monstrous. I think that's much quicker than average, at least. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem.
I know I said before that I liked the idea of the KV1. If it goes to the left-hand side of the map, there are 2 telemines. Can you see that Loveness put 2 through that hedgerow? And there are no minesweepers. I think Loveness has clocked that Von Asten had gone for flamethrowers on his engineers. He knows that Von Asten doesn't know about this. I think that KV1 could be in serious trouble.
Just getting some stats up to talk about the KV1.
It's absolutely fine.
You heard some clacking there. Do you ever hear clacking during my casting? I do like to cast professionally. I do like to be, professional. But I also like a good stat here and there. So sometimes I'll have a sneaky look up, and then you might hear it 10 minutes later. So that'll be the connection. But interestingly, this game is about to heat up. The KV1 Clement Verashilov tank is slowly ambling into view. That 45-ton behemoth, 600 horsepower engine. It's going to power it through the battlefield.
Well, this is interesting. So, KV1 in the loadout right now. Well, Puma going to have good range. Can keep just taking pot shots. See that there, but penetration, we'll see how often it can do it. At the very least, every time it does penetrate at long range, kind of risk-free. The AT gun could use it to get some veterancy as well, and we want to see a player use target weak point today. Really,
I know it just bounced that shot, or that was a miss, I'm not sure. But second pack coming out, by the way, good choice by Love Nest upon encountering the heavy KV1 tank. It's huge pool of health. Nice salvo by the pack there, forcing the T-70 away. KV1's trying to find the rear side of the pack to decrew the weapon. Puma's dumbfounded, doesn't know quite what it can do. Sniper just ate a PTRS shot. This game is heating up.
It is heating up indeed. Lovenest has to get back on that AT gun. That is one of the most important things that he has right now. And Von Asten knows it. He's going to try and pressure with the engineers, get as much flame damage as he can. For Lovenest, it's just a matter of getting it back into the base where he can protect it. Second AT gun's going to come in for reinforcement. And I think Lovenest still comes off on top.
I think it was an indecisive battle, in all honesty. Indecisive battle. Nothing was lost. The Pack 40 was decrewed, but Lovenest managed to protect it admirably. And he's possibly, I would argue, strategically in control, because the KV-1 cannot survive against two packs. There needs to be a unit out of Von Asten that can somehow deal with the packs. Some kind of unit that has long-range capabilities and yet is mobile. And I'm absolutely certain that he is going to build 5 combat engineers with flamethrowers and swarm the packs from multiple angles.
Has always got. I mean, we saw in previous games with the IL-2. I mean, how much chaos did that cause for players using it? They were constantly having to move those AT guns around. Hopefully, Lovenest is a little more confident to just leave the pack guns there firing and kind of withstand that first strafe. But it's a risk. It's a risk. It'll be that, or I think maybe Katusha.
Yeah, that's what I was ironically referring to. I'm like 90% sure Katusha will be the next unit for Von Asten if he knows what he's doing.
But I'm not sure that I like that, because he's only got that KV-1.
It's a damn good tank. It's had a huge HP increase in most recent patches, so it can really beat out Wehrmacht vehicles. The Panzer IV would losing a 1 versus 1, and so would the Puma. Both wood unsupported, but there's 2 packs, so as long as the Katusha deals with the packs, it should be good. That said down, of course, the Su-85 is another valid choice, as long as he can keep it away from the packs. But
just worried about his fuel incoming. Look at Lovenest, plus 32, Von Asten plus 19. Be a little more conservative with resources right now and make sure he has something to push. Katusha might get a couple of good barrages off, and then Lovenest will adjust to it.
Also, he's getting the Zis out as well, which further points to Katusha in my mind. He also has the IL-2 available now, 180 munitions. Oh, big meaty shots and constantly having to be repairing. Fortunately, of course, he does have the combat engineers with that plus 1 HP per second repair speed, having attained veterancy 2. Here comes those Sturmoviks. Firing death volleys from above the armoured attack ground plane of the Radina.
You can see Von Asten here, he's trying to get as much use of that IL-2 as he can. Starts pushing the field with guards and the Maxim. We've got the KV-1, it hasn't even been repaired yet, but it's trying to go into the base. I'm not sure what I feel about this, because Lovenest is about to get a Stug on the field.
Oh my god, Gott im Himmel, he's building a Starngeschütz!
Oh, we've got the Sniper just ate some big barrage off the IL-2, by the way.
Yeah, Sniper nearly went down to that. Would have been a bit of an issue. Well, this composition for Lovenest is very good. Thinking right now, really, what does Von Asten have to counter? I'm not seeing any counters to what Lovenest has. Double MG42 for suppression, sizable amount of grenadiers, all equipped, and veterancy 3. Sniper also in the mix. I would say Von Asten's in trouble.
Katusha. Oh, he's getting SU-85. What's he doing? I promise you that's going to get countered by the packs. I promise you. It just is. Lovenest will take the opportunity, unless he saves for the IL-2, but he's got no munitions left. Ooh, a Maxim needs to get out of that. KV-1's rearing his ugly, fat head. 45 tons of Stalinium.
And also, don't forget, We've always got those 2 telemines that still haven't been swept on the left. Lots of opportunities. This is difficult to get into that building because AT guns are around. He could actually attack ground, try and get the building.
Just need to attack the bloody building. Just, you know, that's very quick death. Loveness hasn't seen it. What the hell?
That's interesting, isn't it? There was a clear opportunity there to take that building down. Loveness didn't spot it. But incredibly risky by Von Asten.
Though. I think it's a grenadier retreating from the west due to that T-70, so I think he might have been otherwise perturbed.
I'm waiting for that T-70 to make the mistake. It's so close to the telemine! Doesn't trigger it though. Remember as well, I mean, we talk about these telemines, Von Asten
Stug
also...
in trouble. Tell you what, the Stug nearly went down there, Dan, to a combination of the Su-85 and the Zis. In fact, it's one shot, and here come the conscripts and the guards. Stug is in peril.
Yeah, and no movement from Loveness. I thought he would have heard Ura.
And the sniper is! The conscripts get it at max range. Great shot there. The Stug needs to get out of there. The sniper's already gone down. Loveness on life support.
See the Su-85 there. Puma came around to try and get the T-70. Su-85 was hot on the defense. And looks like he'll be giving chase. I feel like Loveness might be trying to bait Von Asten to play more on the left-hand side of the map. But look at the Su-85 once again. Great eyes on the Command Panzer IV. Double AT guns open up on the Su-85. Oh, big shots.
Shots. Luckily, Loveness kept his Stug in the picture, but that sniper death, he did not want that to happen. A little bit of bad positioning, might I say. You never really want to leave the sniper with the chance to algorithmically run down a negative cover road. Just, you know, it's very easy for me to say that, though, having, you know, casual Code 2 player casting elite level players, but you know, you don't really want that to happen, especially on Crossroads, and it's rare you'll see a conscript get a headshot on a sniper like that, and I think it's the road that was the deciding factor.
Yep, rough game. Didn't actually catch the sniper, unfortunately. So good use of incendiary here, trying to stop the guards from capping the incendiary, actually destroying the green cover sandbags. Those guards will get suppressed. Can Loveness micro to get the conscript squad. Nobody's going to get pushed away, and the Puma is in a little bit of danger here, being left on the left-hand side for repairs.
People questioning why I said Loveness on life support, even though he has better pop cap. I just like the alliteration of the 2 L's. Don't worry too much. Pax nearly got some big shots on the T-70 there, forcing it away, but a nimble response by Von Asten.
It's when I see things like the positioning of those packs. They're together, they're clumped up. I kind of feel like, is there no better position we can come up with, Loveness? You know what I mean? Here comes the Katusha, so it's going to need to be getting better positioning than that. I hope Von Asten actually saves that first Katusha shot for, you know, for a surprise that is accurate.
On the packs especially, but they can't react or retreat, so you know, this is what Jessulan was not doing yesterday, which is one of the few reasons that he lost his fatal series to Von Ivan, etc. But yeah.
Oh, look at this AT guns. Seriously, it's,
what's wrong with that?
When the Katusha comes out, there's going to be a serious problem with doing that.
There is.
I assure you.
There is. For now, it's fine, but as agreed, as soon as the Katusha comes out, that's.
But he should know.
We're not doing that anymore.
If we're talking about top players in the game, Devon would be like, right, it's this stage of the game. My opponent would know I've got 2 packs and would build a Katusha, so I'm going to stop doing this. That to me signals a problem that Loveness isn't thinking too deeply right now about what could potentially counter him.
The whole advantage of stacking AT guns, which is valid, by the way, I'll stop talking as soon as the Katusha fires. The whole advantage is they're on the same pixel, so they fire at exactly the same time, and it's twice the impact. So that's the whole point in that. It's how Barton won SNF5, quite frankly. Oh, here we go, big barrage. Is he going to hit the packs?
It's a little off target. Not really sure what he was going for there.
Didn't hit a thing. Oh, kind of hurt that MG a little bit. When are we going to get a high rocket artillery genocide moment, Dan. I'm really upset. We haven't had one in the entirety of GCS2 yet.
I know. He did take down a telemine, by the way, with that Katusha. It was kind of a deep field telemine. Too bad. SU-85 is... Actually, I don't think that was the SU-85. That was the Ziscum.
That was such a rubbish moment.
Oh, Loveness is again. He's playing very close to his own telemines. Could trigger them. Yes, he does. Wipes the squad.
Oh, he does trigger them! And he absolutely demolishes that squad. Calculated. I
don't know if that was calculated. I think that's silly in a way because you need those telemines to work against the vehicles. You can't be giving Von Asten clues that they exist. Von Asten hasn't played minesweepers in this game at all, and I think you'll probably see that happening soon.
Yeah. He did, well, I know he only killed a conscript, but 50 munitions for a conscript, I'll take it.
Yeah, I suppose that kind of thing does count. It's still good. There was
demo charge.
Bad happening.
You know, remove demo charges from the game pretty much at elite level, and Loveness will still find a way to use them. He'll position you on his telemine and then shoot it. I was trying to go for like the meme calculator, do you know what I mean? When you do something by accident, then you're like, yeah, totally calculated, dude. Intentional would be another way to say it, I guess. Pack's still operating as a cohesive meta AT gun, Dan. See what you're saying. It doesn't seem like he has changed at all with that one. He's still hoping to catch the T-70 off guard and just one-shot it.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 80 guns on the left, kind of pinned down the SU-85, which is good. Is he on focus fire at the moment? Can't see that one. Let's just check out where the Katusha's firing.
Second barrage. It's on the MG again. Wow. Cool. It will be on the battlefield for a long time, though. It will give it a chance to start killing things eventually. KV-1 into view, helping those guards push onwards into battle, getting their veterancy 3. Minus 25% received accuracy, so they're able to be a little bit more resilient. And here comes those skill planes.
So usually signaling that Von Asten's going to make a push, and here it is. You can see him working up the center of the map. At the moment, the AT guns have to retreat, and they're in a really, really bad position there. Perfect for the KV-1 to roll up. There really isn't anything stopping it other than the Stug.
Yeah, so that was, I like to see people using close air support in combination with push. It actually puts the skill legitimately in the phrase skill plane, rather than ironically. But it wasn't the all-encompassing push that it could have been. So hopefully when he next gets to 180 manpower, he's ready.
The funny thing, Lovenest is... he's been pop-capped for a while now, and I think this is, in a way, strange. I don't know if he thinks he needs something else to make pushes, because he's still being quite reserved, despite the fact he's reinforcing everything. It's like when he actually gets it all up and running, he's not really playing, do you know what I mean? He's not really pushing the field with what he's got. He's just kind of sitting back a little bit, trying to get secure hold of that VP in the center, and I just feel like it's a little strange. I feel like it's a little stale, considering he's banking so many resources.
I think what we're seeing here is a true ace game decider in a single elimination tournament.
Is he base firing with the Katusha?
He's going to the base here. Could get the Vet 3 Grenadier if he's lucky. Looks like it's escaped. It should be fine. So yeah, as I say, it's a very tense, very suspenseful affair. It's a lot more defensive this time, not quite as aggressive as Game 1 and Game 2, which barely got over 15 minutes each. So that's what we're seeing. That both players have been forced to play a little bit more cautiously because they want that plane ticket to England booked, so they don't have the stress of having to think about it.
Loveness here. I think this is really sensible. He's got the AT guns now moving up. His Katusha's fired, so he knows that that's on a recharge. Also, the IL-2 probably estimates that Von Asten isn't going to be able to use another one soon. Actually, now he's starting to make his moves in the center, but Von Asten is already there to meet him and is pushing away the AT guns. Very, very important thing to do right now.
What a standoff that was. What a face-off battle. Almost like 18th or 19th century warfare, where you just line up and shoot one another until the other guys either run away or die. Bottom right, we've got a conscript possibly down to LMG fire. Last volley of fire. Couldn't get the kill.
That was left, by the way.
What did I say?
Bottom right. I kind of flew over to the right-hand side of the screen.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
I need to get my fingers out and do the L's, you know. The left-hand L is left. Okay. My bad.
No, not at all. All this is interesting. Okay, so AT gun goes down there. Loveness is going to recruit it immediately. I wonder if Loveness, maybe keeps an AT gun decrewed, tries to get some more units on the field, overwhelm his opponent, and then rebuild after it loses. Von Asten's down teching.
No, Loveness needs bunkers. He's missing such a... Oh, finally getting bunkers. There we go. 60 manpower spent well there. And of course... this is a big barrage.
Actually killed
Katusha! Finally with the barrage. It's now climbed to 3 kills. So it's averaging a kill a barrage. But these bunkers are going to be huge. This is what Von Ivan does as Wehrmacht when he's floating manpower. And Loveness has both the munitions and
is it
manpower.
Or is it vet for the SU-85?
Depends how deep they are. If they're deep enough, they'll just allow Loveness to control areas of the map where he's not currently in. SU-85, talking of which, is attaining its vet of its own merit right now. Some big shots on the Panzer IV.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Loveness was caught building that bunker before it was up. I think if you see your opponent building bunkers, what are you thinking? My opponent's floating manpower? Clearly pop-capped, right? Clearly cannot adjust to the situation. Well, actually, Von Asten still has some room to play with. So he could think, okay, well, actually, nothing else is coming out on the field. Let's build something that's going to shake things up a little bit. It's going to be the sniper for him.
Completely, I disagree with this decision entirely. If your opponent's floating so much manpower that he can spend frivolous manpower on bunkers, don't build something that's going to take up your precious APM and your ability to micro, such as the sniper, which is a glass cannon unit. That's not what you want to do, really, because your opponent doesn't care anyway. Loveness has 300 manpower after building 2 bunkers. He's got manpower for days. He's got manpower on top of manpower.
Yeah, it's a lead choice.
Yeah, I think he'll look back on this. 37 minutes, Von Asten. If you're watching this replay back, Katusha, big volley. Pax, stagnant, could actually get hit this time. So much medium cover now. Oh, they do get hit in the end.
Could get the second one. Ooh. I mean, look at that. SU-85 takes the opportunity. I think he's going to try and attack ground on that AT gun. Try and blow it up. Loveness should actually recruit that. He actually doesn't recruit with the squad closest. Leaves it right to the last minute.
He didn't want to crew it with the Vet 2 Pioneer.
That was such a mistake.
Miscalculated, It's like, oh, this one's Vet 2. I can't recrew with that.
Well, maybe not, because he's going to go for another Stuk. So, I mean, maybe he didn't really mind. He's got enough resources to build something else.
Good point. And also, well, I still think he tried to get it down. We saw that, the unvetted one try and get it, didn't we? But the good thing about the Stugs is they're pretty much Katusha-proof. I mean, they obviously do get damage to Katusha, but they don't get wiped. So I think, as you say, that although it possibly wasn't intentional, it's a good decision. Here we go, bunker bait. Getting the Zis gun in there. Can't really capitalise, though. It's a very February-orientated build, this is, Dan. I mean, before those nerfs to tank destroyers, everybody was just going tier 3, no tier 4. Loveness doesn't seem to care. He just likes Stugs, even though they have a lesser rate of fire now compared to February and March. He's still going to go with them. And if he gets Vet, he might be laughing.
Tell you what I really like is Loveness is stepping outside of that box on the top left now. He's actually going for the VP on the right-hand side. You look at Von Asten, he actually reconfigured everything he had to the left side. So he's kind of left a hole. Everything's going to change here. Loveness had the bunkers up, so there isn't really any pressure on the left. He's able to move. The bunkers have opened up this whole new area of gameplay for him.
Yeah, exactly the point I was making. The bunkers might go down, But it doesn't really matter because they didn't cost that much to begin with. And he had the resources in spades. So it's now, as you say, allowing him to get a sneaky triple cap. If it wasn't for the IL-2 button, of course.
Those bunkers are going down, though. I think this is quite clutch because Loveness is trying to win the engagement on the right decisively, and Von Asten's trying to win the engagement on the left decisively. And both players, after that, actually Loveness is going to come out on top. And I wouldn't be surprised now if he goes for that center VP. Puts insane pressure on that.
Look at this. Loveness is swarming around. He's got such a great composition. 2 Stugs, a Panzer IV, a Panzer IV command tank. 1 Stug could be going down though. SU-85 wants to fire through the smoke. It's a sitting duck. How did that miss? Stug does go down to the Zis gun. Maybe Loveness was a little bit caught up there.
Sniper nearly took that Puma hit. Did connect, just didn't kill it.
Down, Mr. President. Look at this telemine coming down by these pioneers. So close to that Soviet mine, by the way. Tusha. Nice on the pack. I think Loveness really cares, though.
Got to keep those things moving. It's moved it a little bit, kind of stopped it, paid the price. Telemine's going down behind the central garrison. Look, there's quite a few. There's quite a few telemines there.
There is. In terms of the overall tournament meta of players, I think that Von Ivan and Deven must be watching this and laughing. Because the pace is so much slower than what they're currently capable of, and the aggression is so much less. And when you're being as defensive as Loveness is in this game, it's working, by the way. No discredit to him and no disrespect intended. But when it's so much slower, so less aggressive, it implies he's not as confident. So they must be laughing, thinking, if this is the Loveness we see in September, easy game, easy life.
See, look at the bunker suppressing multiple squads here. You had an incendiary pop, well microed to pin down Maxim and guards. Katusha's going quite far up the field. Needs to be careful going up alone like that.
Well played though. Need to get back into this one. It's a good one. People were trying to call this game over in those first 10 minutes. And it's been a masterclass in how to get back into things slowly, methodically, and with great efficiency.
Loveness has suddenly just sprung into action with telemines. Loads of these are going to go off. Because Von Asten actually has gone for engineers now with the minesweepers, which is really, really good of him. Because enough have gone off.
KV1 on the east side, 12 kills, getting further kills as we speak. Loveness has set up in the centre. Very much similar to that round 3 game against Theodosios from Barbarossa that Von Ivan played. Mobile defence in the centre, just sitting there saying, come at me, bro. KV1's going in. Big fat Clement Virashilov.
That's a good kill on the Stug. Nice Katusha as well, forcing away 2 squads of grenadiers and also wiping the telemines in the centre that Loveness has been placing. Really important. Here we go.
Out here. Target's weak point. As soon as that turret gets unlocked, it could actually die itself. Has to pop smoke in anticipation of the turret unlock. This is now heating up. KV1's getting dirty and deep. Here comes the veteran C2 SU-85. That increased penetration on the hunt.
Both players then sat at 184 VPs for a couple of seconds, and I just realised how tense this game has got. And Loveness just had full map control, but I think he overstretched it just a little bit. And that's allowed Von Asten to get back into this game. And suddenly Loveness, who was, you know, pretty much having to stack resources at 100 pop cap, drops down to 68. He has far less on the field. This is a great moment for Von Asten to push. You know, it looks so certain. It looks so certain that Loveness was just taking that.
I think the KV1 pushing through that hedgerow, getting that kill, was a moment of genius from Von Asten. Well, all game sense, whatever you want to call it, he just knew he could push at that moment, and he did just that. Must be noted, Loveness now has the heavy Panzer core up, the tier 4 Battle Phase 3 structure. And let's see where he goes.
That's good. We're going to get to see a Panther die in 15 seconds again.
Could be a Panzerwerfer, could help him out a little bit against that Zis and the Vet 3 Maxim, perhaps. Or... let's wait and see. Also could be the Brumbear, You know, but against a Vet 2 SU-85, that wouldn't be too great.
Had a base fire from Von Aston. So dirty.
Oh dear. Grenadier needs to get out of there. Tell you what though, Von Aston's actually allowing Loveness back into this game now by not trying to push harder. Always with Code 2, there's a rebound effect due to the inherent comeback mechanics that are part of this game. And Von Aston wasn't quite as aggressive as he could have been there. He does have the Minesweeper. He could have been minesweeping. He could have been getting up dirty and deep into his opponent's territories. And he didn't do that.
Where do we go from here? These bunkers are just needing veterancy to a reclaimed pack gun. I think this is a really important pickup for Von Aston.
Panzer doing? This could be an attack ground through the smoke. It doesn't do it indeed. But the SU-85's there. And the SU-85 has him in his sights. Like Soldier 82. Huge shot, max range.
Incredible kill. Incredible. Loveness needs to make use of his resources. He is going to go for the Panther.
What's the SU doing? The SU has no heavy crush. It's stuck in the head.
There's the tellers. Don't forget the tellers.
Oh! The tellers were not swept like Von Aston should have been. And the SU-85, despite his veterancy, is now an ex-tank destroyer.
Needs to be careful of the Telemine again. Always playing units near the Telemines. They are going off. Area of explosion seems to be killing some of his own units. Sometimes T-70 goes down.
Puma! Bursting through the smoke! Despite the Zisgun fire in its rear, the Puma did not care. It went on the hunt and it got its prey with a meticulous shot there. Fantastic by Loveness. Great counter-attacking play. What a counterpunch.
This game is going all over the place. This is crazy. Really crazy. Look at Von Aston. He's stacking SU-85 and the KV-1 up again. We've got Von Aston still firing into the base. Only Pioneers there. Not too much to worry about. They do need to work on repairing the medic bunker, which is about to go down. And it's good of Von Aston to actually pay attention to detail there, because he has been aiming at that medic bunker for a while, and it will help.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. Yeah, just rebuild it, I suppose. I see what you're saying, but I think
not for the resources.
Overall has always been underwhelming. Wow, a mine really deep into territories there. That just went off. That was pretty. Yeah, that was what it was. It's crazy. I thought it would have been a rifle made for a second, but it wasn't. We do have the Panther out, 55 tons of prototype main battle tank. Something a lot of armies studied after World War II. In fact, the British made the Germans build them a few. That's the one you can see at Bovington Tank Museum to this day. But needs to be careful. It's one of those units that can be a bit glass cannon-esque. You need it to be supported.
I don't like the choice. I just...
you didn't got buffed a little bit? It's not as bad as it used to be, Dan. Give it a chance, maybe?
Maybe if he had the 2-pack still. But...
Oh, he doesn't anymore, true. He needs to, as I say, he needs to be supported with it. It does still have a Vet 3 Puma, by the way. If you didn't know, Vet 3 Pumas get some excellent bonuses. Plus 33 damage. That's a third increase to damage, Dan. Better rotation speed, better maximum speed, and better acceleration, so it's nimble, and when it gets the shot in, it does a third more damage. It's a great piece of veterancy, Veterancy 3 Pumas.
Let's see a good button here from the guards. Von Aston maybe missing the opportunity. Von Aston's playing great, by the way. The sniper had been up the field a couple of times, providing recon, so that the SU-85 doesn't have to rely on focus fire. But here comes a nice push. KV-1 going to tank some damage. Engineers on the front line, and good to see him using engineers on the front, because he knows how many telemines have been placed over this game. It's good when you see players adapt like that.
Bren's throwing themselves into the line of duty there. Not the best play by Loveness. He could get punished by the Katusha. This was a timed retreat path punishment by Von Aston, and Loveness is very lucky to escape. Final barrage! Oh god, that was lucky. We do have the IL-2 coming down though. This game is getting tense. We are 49 minutes into this ace game decider. Loveness is on the ropes, but he's proven time and time again that he can counter-punch and bounce off those ropes and hit his opponent with an uppercut.
Oh, he tried to go for the Katusha with the Puma. Got punished. I think we're about to see Loveness drop from this qualifier.
We could be. But as I'm saying, despite that attempt there with that right hook Puma, left hook. If I can get my left and right to right eventually. I think he still has it in him to make a comeback. It's just so difficult to see where that's going to come from. We have got a second KV-1 tank in the build. We've now got Veterancy 3 on this KV-1.
Just well, this game is turned around so fast. Panther dealing with infantry. I'm not sure this is exactly what Loveness wanted from this unit. S285 picking up veterancy like its predecessor, an absolute beast, but look at it working on focused fire. It can see the Panther from a mile away, and it is just planting shots continuously. Loveness is forced to send squads to the right. It's deep capping.
He has to go deep cap, he has to decap. And right now, Loveness does not look like a man that is beaten. He looks like a man that is biding his time until he can rebound once more. And oh my god, what a horrific shot by the KV-1. He was biding his time, but KV-1 said time over, and your Gren is now deceased.
Loveness is going to make the play with the Panther. I think we've been waiting to see how this goes. It's only a few units around that are going to be able to provide any support.
Hot smoke, main gun destroyed, Vet 3 Zisgun with the last shot in, the last thing to say.
Ram! Yeah, his survivability is great.
Final shot as it gets decrewed. The Vet 3 Hero Zis crew were crewing their Zisgun despite being shot in the back by a Panzer IV command tank. And Loveness has been kicked out of the second qualification tournament. Von Asten advances to the final.
Oh well, don't know if I was expecting that to happen, but Loveness will not be making it through into the finals. We have our first finalist in Von Asten. Great series then.
I think that, everything considered, was the best game of GCS2 so far. I know we've had the Hans ICAB series, we've had a few others, but that wasn't ridiculously long like the Talisman games. It was really hype in terms of what was at stake. It built slowly, but it was never boring, and then it ended with an amazing climax. Like, it was frantic, it was hectic, and both players were brought out of their comfort zone and had to compete at the highest of their abilities. So everything considered, pound for pound, I think that was the best game we've had so far.
It was good. I mean, it was I want to say it was an even series. Both of them had a kind of dominant game and then kind of respected each other enough to play seriously. I do think like the pressure was on Von Asten there, though, because Mobile Defense won the first two games in the series. Loveness made that pick with the VP lead and couldn't carry it through. But that build, I think that build order was what let Loveness down. The Panther didn't seem to be the right choice there at all.
No, it wasn't. And I think there was a few bad choices, but there was also a bit of criticism from myself on Von Asten's choices. And I think he proved me and a lot of chat wrong with his decision making, or he made it work even if it wasn't the greatest decision. His play in that game was fantastic. He proved and cemented himself as one of the elite players for the viewers. I mean, I was already thinking that, but it's just nice that Von Asten is now able to prove that. And we now have him through to the final.
Well, speaking of finals, we've got our next game to cast, well, the next series to cast. Let's have a quick look at the brackets.
By the way, Von Ivan has just posted, Moobot timed him out, or removed his link rather, but he posted the no retreat, no surrender, this is Spartan law into chat, which I'll link for you now. It's a very